Reviewing the syllabus part 2, what items you may need for this course. Now, the textbooks that we have for this course are listed in the syllabus. There's a few that this course was mainly based off of the Smashing WordPress textbook that you see here. Now, this textbook, version 3 or version 4, they're fairly similar, so you're not going to lose too much from there. And there's also an even better book. This one here is the Professional WordPress Design and Development, 3rd edition. Now, this particular semester, we're going to be covering WordPress 5, which is actually brand new. We haven't had version 5. There is no books for it. It just got released, I think, in December. So the course material that I have for you is based off the older version of WordPress. And as we go through this course, we're going to try to make some adjustments along the way. So we're going to learn together on this semester. Some of the other items you're going to need are, well, let me skip to text editor first. You'll need some sort of text editor to end up editing your code. You may want to use Dreamweaver, CC, things like that. There's Brackets, which was recommended by several students, Aptana, Komodo Edit 7. So basically, if you really, really wanted to, you could even use Notepad or TextEdit on a Mac. So we need some way of editing the code. I do recommend using one of these pieces of software. Dreamweaver is pretty good, but for free, Brackets, I think, is probably the best one to use, and I think other courses have used Brackets as well. Now, besides the text editor, you're going to need, let's see if I have that listed below. Besides the text editor, you're going to need, looks like I have it redundant here on the text edit portion. I'll have to clean that up. The virtual web server that you're going to need is either XAMPP or MAMP. So if you're on Windows, use XAMPP. If you're on a Mac, I recommend you use MAMP. The installation will be easier if you end up using the different items. I'm going to show you mainly on XAMPP. Recently, I learned that it was pronounced XAMPP instead of XAMPP, but I'm going to continue to call it XAMPP from this point forward. What a virtual web server does for you is, instead of having to do your development on a remote web hosting service, you could actually have a virtual web server on your desktop or on your laptop. And that way, you won't even need access to the internet when you're trying to test your files. WordPress runs on PHP and MySQL, and you need some sort of server-side scripting language and program to work with that. This kind of simulates a web server, so it could actually parse that code, render it, and display it back to your browser. I'll explain more about that later, but you should try to install one of these two applications, whether it's XAMPP or MAMP. Also required in this course is a web hosting account. There are several that are available. I have some links that are over on Blackboard that you could use. Some of the students actually recommended a few others. So go ahead and check on Blackboard. It'll give you a more recent posting of some web hosting items that you can end up using. And the reason why we're using the web hosting one is because you're going to be uploading your assignments and some of the midterm and your final project on the remote server. And that way, we can publicly see that you're able to go ahead and enable the WordPress site and activate it. All right. So those are some of the basics you need. I missed one piece here. There's another item that you're going to need to do FTP, and I recommend using FileZilla. I mean, there's some things like Dreamweaver can do those kinds of things too, but FileZilla, I'll show you some videos on that, on how to use FileZilla to transfer files over from your local computer over to the remote one. All right, so that's some of the basics that we're going to, the basic items that you'll need to have this course, and of course to be able to get to the Blackboard site and to be able to go ahead and use the access from there to view some of the course materials, homework assignments, and quizzes. So that's it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to kind of go into a weekly breakdown of what we're going to be covering in this course.